Welcome to RWBY Talk. And we
Oh,
got one episode left after this, so shit needs to start flying, and we got it today.
well, oh yeah, dude. There are many things to discuss. Almost an overwhelmingly amount of things to discuss in this Ruby talk.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
let's see. What do we want to start with? How about let's start with the lower and then we'll move to the higher. Okay, so number one, Jaunes Semblance clarifying that it's not healing, but aura boost. I actually prefer that. I like that better.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
that
that
one that's a unique take on it.
it leaves it a lot more open ended. He's like a booster, He's kind of it's like your bardic inspiration in a fucking D&D.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy that's like, you could do it, Weiss, got it.
You can do it.
So like I could totally see him like since he doesn't really do a lot of actual fighting himself.
And when
As
he
we
does,
saw,
he's complete and utter trash.
he doesn't know to stab rather than or to slice rather than stab when an opponent's on the ground.
Yeah.
That's the meme that was kind of making the rounds for a while on the Ruby fandom.
Oh yeah.
Fucker would just swung horizontally. Guess it doesn't matter because Raven killed that bitch, but maybe.
Maybe.
Uh,
Or maybe
but,
they just wrote him off for that RT Life doc.
oof. But yeah, no, I guess we'll stick with that. No, I like that his semblance is aura boosting because there's a lot more you can do with that. It's not just healing. So for example, like it opens up a lot of possibilities immediately. I'm like, okay, so if Ruby needed to get somewhere really fast, faster than her normal like speed semblance would make it, if he boosted her aura, could she go even faster? Or
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be discussed about this one.
Well, let's do it now. Like just hypotheticals. Like I'm trying to think of other people's semblances. Like, oh, by the way, the amount of times that Nora conveniently fights someone with a lightning ability is getting ridiculous. Like,
Right?
like right when he started.
That one kind of irked me, but at the same time, it was fucking cool.
Oh no, that was great. Like there were once again, like I had virtually zero problems with this episode. It was one of the most perfect episodes of the season because I mean, like even the characters like felt like Nora didn't feel cringe like she had been feeling this entire season. Same with Ruby. Like everything they said felt real and natural. I loved the line like, "Oh, I don't need him to feel it. I just need him to stay down." Like the way she delivered that was great. Now let's also discuss fucking Hazel's semblance, just pain blocking. That's a interesting semblance,
Right?
Now that's good and bad because one of the things I've always learned from One Piece is that do you remember the zombies in One Piece feel pain? Remember that?
Yeah.
During the Thriller Bark arc, and like kind of the lesson with that was like there was that main big one they were fighting, and he was like, "Why can't I move? I don't feel any pain," even though they had like broken his spine and done like a million injuries everywhere. And then Chopper kind of is like, "Pain isn't a bad thing. It's so you know where your body is in a shit condition." So it's a double-edged sword that like certainly it allows him to fight more, but he's also going to get a lot more injured not feeling pain.
Exactly.
Because, like, I mean, a smack like that from Nora's hammer probably busted a couple of his ribs. I mean? And he doesn't feel it at all. He wouldn't even know if his fucking lung was punctured until he stood not being able to breathe.
Yeah. There's a lot with Hazel that's just still kind of slightly cringe, if you know what I mean.
Hazel's weird to me. He seems like he flips a bit too quickly. But, I mean, I guess unless that's supposed to be his flaw.
Yeah, I don't know if it's his flaw or if it's just bad writing.
Right? Don't you love that? It's like, oh, is this bad on purpose? I don't know. It's like I think was it I don't remember if it was PewDiePie or Gigak. It was one of those people reviewing Devilman. Have you watched the Devilman anime that Chris keeps talking about?
I have watched almost all of it.
Okay, so you know how the animation is like sometimes amazing, sometimes horrible.
Yeah.
Like it was either PewDiePie or Gigak, and they were like, as much as I love the art style, it's also one of those art styles that makes me look at it and I'm like, is this supposed to look bad? Is that a choice or is it just bad?
Right?
But yeah, even like I would have liked to get a bit more from the sister, Yang Ruby fight. There was that one cool shot literally the second the episode began where they like both rocketed it off, and there was a couple cool things. Mercury just knocks the fucking scythe out of her hand, and I was like, oh, are they going to play into that like whole how she was training for hand-to-hand combat in that one?
Nope, we're going to glaze right past that.
He did like a head smack thing.
Yeah, but
I mean, I don't know. I would have liked to see a sister fight, that would have been cool if they could have devoted like 1 minute to just like,
right,
like Ruby, Yang, Cinder, or I'm not Cinder, sorry, Ruby, Yang, Mercury,
and Emerald.
I always mix up the names Cinder and Emerald. I don't know why, I just do.
Weird, but okay.
I know. Well, because it makes no sense. I'm aware that it makes no sense. For some reason, I do. Because I could see Emerald being a Cinder. Just name-wise. I know it doesn't make sense for the naming conventions of Ruby because, like, usually with colors and shit, but, like, her personality strikes me as she could totally be one. So sometimes I accidentally call her Cinder. Anyway, or I'm just a dumbass. You can go with that, too.
I don't know if I want to go with that or not.
All right. Thanks, David. Cries in corner. Names are not my strong suit in real life either, man.
Oh, I know.
It's very
I'm
difficult.
terrible with names as well.
Mm-hmm. What else? Just before we get to the Maiden fight, is there anything else to discuss? Because
okay, we'll save the bulk of this for the Maiden fight and just analyzing that. Blake's convenient timing. We call that shit.
I mean, yeah, that was. I mean, how I don't see how else they would have done that. Really, I totally figured that was going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting too. So Adam, is he just straight up on like is he just gonna be arrested now? Like, he's
right. Like, is he going to give up? Is he going to martyr it? Is he going to?
Well, he wanted a fucking suicide bomb. It looked like.
Yeah, I mean, but that didn't work out thanks to Ilya, the Ruby equivalent of Big Show.
It fucking played the fucking like triumphant music, like we were supposed to be like, yeah, Ilya redeemed. It's like, nah, I still hate her. I don't care.
And like the quick little glimpse of are they going to tease a little bit of Bumblebee in here? Or, no, she's just gonna.
Dude, I mean, like, you know how like CinemaSins, whenever like someone like does something a lot better in front of the person they love, they're always like, the power of boners prevails. Like when I saw that, I was like, what is it? What is the woman equivalent of that? The power of moistness? I don't fucking know.
The power of demonetization prevails.
Like we don't monetize things.
I know, but if we were to go on that tangent, it would be an immediate demonetization.
Support our non-existent Patreon.
All right. So yeah,
that will hopefully one day exist.
I mean, and it will eventually.
Yeah, I have standards though. We've been discussing this. What are we thinking? 1,000 subscribers, 500 at least,
somewhere in that range.
Just enough to make it so hey, people actually kind of care. But
okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, and I actually memed it earlier, is the
superhero landing.
The superhero landing.
Dude, if that's not that one guy that you're subscribed to that does the Ruby cracks.
Yeah, that better fucking be a Ruby crack.
It's just Deadpool fucking screened onto that fucking like.
She's gonna do it. She's gonna do it.
You superhero landing.
One armed, by the way, because her prosthetic got snatched.
Like that she was just like, fuck it. Like I was curious what they were gonna do with that, and I was like, oh, she's just gonna bail the arm. All right.
So my question is, where are they going to lead up to that? Because we are obviously at the season finale now.
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk about the fight first before we get to
like?
Let's just get under the way. Amazing fight. Like they fucking stuck on it for more than 5 seconds. It was actually like a good at least 5 minutes of fight.
Yeah, and it action reaction both in the same fucking frame, perfectly choreographed.
It was well done. It was dynamic. It moved around a bunch. It was the fucking falling rock shit was amazing. There was good choreography. Oh my gosh, like it's like they have one person that knows how to make a fight, and they're like, okay, you work on this, and we'll put the filler content together. I don't know. It's weird.
Like my question is, if they can do this,
yeah, that's the big thing.
What is the excuse for the rest of the season's fights?
That's why I'm so shocked. Like, because I give all 100% props deserved for how good this fight is.
This is the perfect RWBY fight. At least post Monty.
I would say, yeah. I mean, like, I think that I wouldn't want every fight to be like as flashy as this.
No, it doesn't need to be this flashy, but choreography-wise, dynamic-wise, story-wise, everything made sense.
It works because they're both maidens, and that's what I would expect. I think
if they could get this choreography and this pacing and this, framing.
That was the big thing, right? It was fast. It was fast.
This framing, especially down for the rest of fucking RWBY, it'd be perfect.
Yeah. So I really actually I hope that somewhere it's listed somewhere. Maybe I can find it on the wiki. Who actually did this fight? Who animated this fight?
Well, I'm assuming that won't be on the wiki until it's public to everybody on YouTube.
Right. Because I want to know if it's. I'm hoping maybe it's the woman that got promoted to the
lead animator.
Top position. That'd be nice.
Or whatever her new position is. Yeah, that would be perfect.
Because I mean, like, it was really good, and like, I just hope. Because honestly, even the other fights that were bad this season, it didn't have a lot to do with. It was the main problem I had wasn't bad choreography, because the choreography, even in the worst fights, the choreography was fine. It was okay. The main issue was the pacing I had, the speed of which, and the constant cutting is my main issue, right? And they fixed that in this. That was because when David saw this episode before me, I was at work. And he messaged like in all caps, like, that Maiden fight though, right? So I was like, okay, it's good apparently. But the thing I messaged back to him, I was like, even if the choreography is good, I'm curious to see if they fuck up the speed, the choreography, right? Or excuse me, the speed and the flow and shit, because the flow and the rhythm of the fight is really important too. Like that was kind of what made Monty's fights so amazing, because the rhythm was really on point, and they did it great, and that's why I'm wondering why they're able to do it in this and not in other fights. Like
maybe they can only summon the spirit of Monty once per season.
Oh gosh, is that dark? I feel like that's dark.
That's a little bit dark, but I mean it's almost like a Monty fight is what I'm getting at here. They actually captured everything that made RWBY unique with the fighting in this one, and it's scary how it almost felt like it was a volume 1 or 2 fight.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I find it a bit hard to compare it to a Volume 1 or 2 fight, just flashiness, but it's not a bad thing. It still felt like a post-Monty fight to me, but it was, I would say, easily the best post-Monty fight we've had.
The thing that got me is every, post-Monty fight has had, at least some bad framing, some bad cuts. Mm-hmm. This one didn't really have that.
When it comes to speed, pacing, camera angles, shit like that, it certainly did feel like Volume 1 or 2. I agree with that. And that's why I'm really going to be looking into who did this fight specifically. And
I'll create a Twitter just to harass Rooster Teeth.
Well, here's what I can do. I can give our viewers here some interesting information. I became a Patreon of a man named Dylan Goo. Look him up on YouTube. He worked on RWBY on Volume 3. And he's inspiration is Monty Ohm, and he does a bunch of stuff very similar to early RWBY. I became a Patreon of his, and this is a story I haven't even told you yet, Dave. I became a Patreon of him, and he has Patreon exclusive streams where you can just talk to him. Like, there's like less than 10 people in these streams. So like, I actually, and I'll show you this next time we hang out, David, because I have it on archive, obviously. But first I told him, your stuff reminds me of early RWBY, and that's why I enjoy it, and that's why I wanted to support you. And he was like, oh, thanks, man. The inspiration I got from Monty, like really inspires everything I do and my style and everything. But then I asked him, then I asked him what he was going to do if he got enough support, right? And he said he wants to make his own series. And I was like, oh, that's great, because RWBY as of late has been disappointing me. And when I said that, you could tell at first, like, he was kind of like apprehensive to respond. He was like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and then there was like some silence, and he was like, "I'd be lying if I didn't see that sentiment a lot in my comments section. A lot of people tell me, go back to Rooster Teeth, save Ruby." Like, he literally said this, and he's just like, I can't save Ruby. And I was like, oh gosh.
I can't save Ruby.
Right. And him and Shane Newell actually worked together on multiple projects. So like I said, freaking Ruby Resistance team up in there. But he said that.
I'm sure there's like a non-disclosure agreement when you leave Rooster Teeth.
Well, he actually said in this video, he was like, I'm not under any contractual. I'll show you all this. He's like, I'm not under any contractual obligation to not say anything. I'm just not going to out of politeness. That's what he said. Really? In the live stream. Yep. I'll show you all this.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say? But what he said was that Volume 3 to Volume 4, the reason Ruby feels so different is because him and Shane both left. And him and Shane were the main fight choreographers in the entire team. That's what he said. He was like, that's why it's so different, because we both left at the same time, and we were literally doing like 99% of the.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it's taken them a while to get more fight choreographers up in the team, potentially.
That might be, because as you've seen, it's slowly gotten a little bit better, 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 and now it's getting,
yeah, if
better.
they can make this kind of stuff consistent, I'd be super happy. By the way, just quick plug. Obviously, we're really small, but I do feel the need to look up Dylan Goo. Maybe I'll have David link his channel. He's got like 200,000 something subscribers. He worked on Ruby Volume 3, and if you like early Ruby style, Monty Ohm style fights, he's got a bunch of them on his channel.
Okay. I will say some of the stuff seems absolutely ridiculous that he's animated.
But like, it's amazing.
Darth Vader versus fucking Santa Claus.
If I was to recommend any video to you, look up his Pokemon fight. He did a fight where he had all the legendary birds and personified them in human form, and they fought.
And it was fucking glorious.
Did you watch that?
Yes, I did.
How good was that?
That is the personification of actual good Ruby fight.
Mm-hmm. And that's one guy that made that, and that was probably I think that fight was as good as this fight here. Like I would say they're on par. And that's one guy that did that. So basically, what I'm saying is follow him, support him on Patreon. He is one of the nicest people I've ever met. He's so chill. Like he was so cool when I said hi, and he was so open about all that Ruby stuff. He was like, "Yeah, man, I understand why you think it changed and why it's like this." And I definitely yes, he's a great guy. I really hope to see him get more support because he's got criminally low Patreon amount for how good of the shit he does. So yeah. But I just found that really interesting that he was basically like Shane and I left at the same time and we were the fight choreographers, and I was like, that makes.
And that explains why everything went downhill and then slowly started picking back up.
Mm-hmm. Because God forbid they take a break, and I bet you the people that Maker Studios or whoever who owns them right now, is it Maker?
Full Screen owns Rooster Teeth.
Okay, whatever fucking studio is probably like, nope, no breaks, too popular. I don't know why I'm giving them the voice.
Nope, we're just gonna crack this whip a little bit harder.
I feel like the smart idea would have been, okay, well, we just lost like the biggest chunk of team ever. Can we regroup? Nope. Okay.
Nope. We can't have that break.
Full props to the whoever did this fight. The multiple people who probably worked on that fight.
Oh yeah, there's no way this was one person.
Oh, certainly. But yeah, I mean, it's just any special moments you want to call out. Like what I once it started getting to like the Rock jumping around as well, and the part where she kind of like throws
the
her
fucking
sword.
The giant like dust swords.
Oh, I like to. I remember really liking the part where she throws her sword, it sticks on the rock, and she kind of uses that to like swing herself around.
Oh yeah, dude, the entire fight was just utterly orgasmic to anybody that loves beam fights.
Yeah. Dude, oh my gosh, that's why I was so tempted to ask him, like, because I was basically with Dylan Goo, I was trying my best to like underhandedly get him to comment on Ruby a bit, because I was like, I don't want to straight up ask, but I really want to hear what he thinks about current RWBY. I would love. Well, you remember how Cake analyzed some of Cake the YouTuber analyzed some of the fights? I would love a series. I'm sure he'd get in legal trouble, but I would love a series.
I'm sure that would happen. I mean, they even took down his animation reel.
Oh yeah, he got triggered about that too. Someone brought that up, his animation reel, and he was like, "Yeah, I asked for permission to put that up, and they still took it down." He said that, and I'll show you all these things. It's amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh, so good.
I asked for permission, and they still took it down.
Yeah.
That's a dick move. Was there stuff that got cut? Was why, maybe?
No, it was because I saw it before it went down. It was literally just clips from Volume 3 that he had worked on.
Okay, I would have understood if there was like stuff that didn't actually make it into the product if they would have taken it down and said, "Hey, can you cut this out?" And then you can put it back up.
No, I saw it. It was literally just it was little chunks of the first fight, that part where Yang or Blake wraps her fucking thing around Yang, and then Yang's on the ice. Wall of ice, and she's going around. He animated that. He animated Ren dodging the bullets in their tournament fight. He animated the Ironwood versus Beowulf thing.
Okay, so it was nothing that got hit.
It was
It was nothing that hit the cutting room floor. So at least I was at least trying to play devil's advocate there.
To my knowledge, it wasn't anything that was cut because I remember.
Was there anything red versus blue in there or anything like that?
I think it was just RWBY.
It was just RWBY? Then...
Pretty sure.
Then it's really highly doubtful that there was anything that hit the cutting room floor. I know that some of this stuff from one of the volumes of Red vs. Blue, a lot of shit got cut because they lost some shit, so... Because I was reading that on the Reddit.
And even if that's possible that, that there was something that they didn't want in there, they could have contacted him and said, hey, just take that one part out and then re-upload. But the coordinator didn't even fucking say anything. They just took it. They just copyright claimed it. Yep.
Was it really full screen or was it Rooster Teeth proper as well?
He didn't elaborate that much. I know he sounded pissed because, like I said, I'm gonna send this all to you. It's really good. But what was great about it was that he after he said that, there was when you're talking to someone and they do that thing where sounds like they want to say something more and then they cut themselves off.
Yeah.
He did that 3 times. And then and then there was silence, and then he moved on to a different topic. And I was like, ooh, there is a story there.
Ooh, there's a story there. Maybe I can dig a little bit deeper.
Well, he was like, it's just ridiculous. And then he moved on, and I was like, ooh, shit going on there.
Must respect.
Oh, dude, I got it. Yeah, that was enough. I was surprised I got even that, honestly.
Yeah.
But,
so obviously there's more politics going on behind the screen than when you...
I mean, and when you get a big company, it's bound to... I don't even fully blame Rooster Teeth. I mean, when you sell yourself to a bigger network, you're bound to have some bullshittery happening.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why I don't care how fucking popular we get. I vow to never never sell ourselves off to a fucking network.
Yeah, would
you agree with that?
I really don't see any point in it. Because then it becomes paycheck over passion.
Yeah, because what's the point, man? I mean, you can run your own shit, you know what I mean?
It's just harder to run your own shit.
But guess what happens when you run your own shit, though? You have full 100% control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think what happened is when Rooster Teeth started absorbing all these smaller communities into one, cutting off into the Achievement Hunter, the Cow Chop, the Funhouse, all of that. I think when that happened, they realized, oh shit, we can't manage all of this anymore.
I think it's really, really enticing to be for when a company is like, hey, we'll pay you however many $1 million to just be under our name, and it's like, ooh, and then you realize you lose so much control over your own shit.
Yeah. It's just kind of disheartening, but at the same time, I do see why they've done what they've done.
Did you ever hear all the bad shit about Machinima?
I've heard some.
I've heard many Let's Players talk shit about Machinima and how when they were under Machinima, it was torture and horrible. And the second that their contracts ran out, they ran as far as they possibly could. Never took back.
I've heard that they're literally Hitler.
Really? Who said that?
I won't disclose names, but it was a couple animators that worked like 3D animators that worked on projects for them, and they said it was like working for a Nazi, because they want full control over everything. The creators themselves no longer have rights to their projects, and that's completely and utterly bullshit. If you're working for somebody, you should at least have some control over what you're doing.
Certainly, it's what you create. Even with the whole like the copyright shit. The copyright shit with Dylan Goo is so funny because even though it's owned by Rooster Teeth, those are animations he made. He made all of those.
If you make something, you should own it, regardless of who you made it for.
Right. Exactly.
But I realize that's not how things work in the real world.
But so another thing I want to talk about too, visual wise, when she opened the fucking gate, like
that was like, fucking beautiful.
That was cool as shit. You know what it reminded me of? I think it was called Journey, the PS4 or PS3 indie game. You remember that shit?
Yep.
With like the desert walking and shit. You actually
yeah.
Yeah.
Generic. I love the game, but let's be realistic. It's a walking sim.
Oh yeah, I think it's more of like to me it felt like one of those like walk through beautiful shit and look at how beautiful it is.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with a walking sim. It's just it's been done.
Yeah.
But
like,
that's the vibe I got too. And then the artifact being right there, just like 3 steps away. I'm sure there's gonna be some bullshit there.
Okay? I didn't really. Was that the artifact? It just like I was confused. It looked like she walked into the fucking desert.
Yeah, but there's. If you look at the last 3 or 4 frames, there's this chalice-like thing.
Well, let me go back and look. But yeah, that was just cool, and I didn't expect it to Is that implying that it's all these gates are
another dimension or some shit?
Dimensional gateways, or where are they going? Or kind of how RWBY always does. They kind of just slap shit in your face that's interesting and intriguing and never explain it. Here's the thing, right? That's the one thing I notice a lot about RWBY. They'll just kind of show something that any other show you'd be like, oh, there's gonna be an explanation coming, and then you never get the explanation. Really weird.
Kind of like Bleach.
Yeah, not wrong. Okay, I'm watching that again. That is, it's a cool fucking looking thing. It gave me so many. It gave me Zelda vibes. Oh yeah, I see it now.
Yep.
It gave me Zelda vibes too.
$20 says that chalice is the artifact.
I mean, probably. Also, high heels in the desert. That's gonna be fun.
I mean, you gotta look good.
Okay, yeah, and then a Yang superhero landing. Mom, I'll hit you with my nub.
Oh God.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too. Yang, I hope. Where's that conversation gonna go? Right? Because I mean, I guess the question is we know she's not bad necessarily because she fought Cinder, but is she still lone wolf style? I'm doing this for my tribe, or does she actually have a heart? Where do you stand on Raven?
I don't know. Raven's such a fucking bipolar bitch.
I mean, I think she's an character. I think she's one of the more interesting ones this season.
Yeah, I get that, but she. I'm gonna kill my brother. Then I'm gonna fight you in the vault.
Well, I assume anything that she said to Cinder's people can be presumed as a lie at this point.
Can it though?
I mean, you'd think. I mean,
you would think, but can it? Because I mean, we've seen that she flips at the drop of a fucking hat. It's her time of the month.
Okay. Why? Don't make a period joke. The feminists are gonna be all over you.
I don't care if feminists get all over me.
They take that shit real seriously.
Come at me.
No, don't. First of all, come at me, lol.
But seriously, it's a mood swing kind of thing is what I'm getting
Just
at.
know that I respect you and your periods.
I do respect that, but at the same time, you can't say there's not a little bit of a mood change while you're on the rag.
Oh, gosh. Solid David. David, you keep digging that grave. I'll be over here just watching you do it.
I'm completely fine with that.
Alright, cool.
But that's what I'm getting at. It's just she is the moodiest bitch
no.
in the fucking in this entire volume. How many times has she kind of fucking went back on her word, but without going back on her word?
Honestly, I feel like Hazel's more fucking mood swingy than her. Only because the shit that Raven's doing, I see most of it as lies and deception. Hazel legitimately believes the shit he's doing.
I don't know. Maybe it's because Raven
I get the vibe with Raven that she's specifically lying to Cinder and actually mean that shit.
I don't know if it's just Raven just strikes me as like the stereotypical fucking cloak and dagger bullshit that I hate.
Cloak and dagger, what does that mean?
Or it's just like they're trying to mix like fucking Metal Gear Solid vibes into kind of a character that has no reason being like this double agent bullshit.
I
don't know.
I don't really have a problem with Raven, honestly. Like, I think that I don't know. It depends on. We need to know where she's coming from, right? Because from every conversation we've had with the Current Crow in the 4th volume and shit, like we get the vibe that she is still kind of like, I'm doing this for my own people and I don't care. But like back in, I think all the shit about her wanting to kill her brother or like not caring of her brother, I don't think she's that cold-hearted. I think she's like chaotic neutral.
But even a chaotic neutral, she wouldn't really fall under chaotic neutral because she's lied and caused enough pain to really...
Lawful neutral? Wait.
She's caused so much pain for those around her. Look at it, because look at how her fucking people got treated because she lied to Yang. They got their asses kicked and beaten and abused, and then potentially more of them have been killed by having to retreat every time fucking Salem comes closer to her. Would she really fall under chaotic neutral? Or lawful neutral?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I hate on phones that if you get another call, it just boots you off from the other one. It'd be nice if it gave you like a, hey, do you want to answer this?
Can I decline this?
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, where were we?
Okay, so I was saying, think of how much death and chaos she's caused. Her people getting abused by Yang because she's lied to Yang. The fact that she's had to retreat her camp and potentially lost even more of her bandit tribe, for lack of better words.
You make a good point. Like her fucking attitude has only brought like fucking like bad shit to everyone she even maybe considers that she loves. So honestly, you're right. She's just kind of being a bitch. I feel it. Which is why I am curious. I hope we get kind of like a clarification on her motives here, on like what is she really gonna do with this relic? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is the relic kind of like a chalice to where she can revive Vernal? Or, because we saw Vernal one pot shot to distract Cinder long enough for fucking Raven to potentially kill her?
Yeah, I mean, I wish that they'd clarify more. Like, all you needed to do, if you wanted me to believe that she was dead, was shatter the ice.
Right.
That's what I was literally waiting for that. I was like, okay, is the ice like that? And the ice is going to shatter.
No, we're going to get some, Darth Maul falling down the fucking center of the fucking, whatever the fuck, and Phantom Menace kind of shit.
And I think that's the final thing we should talk about here. Do you think Cinder's dead?
Fuck no, her power's fire. She's going to melt the goddamn ice.
But I want her to be dead.
I want her to be dead more than you for different fucking reasons.
I want her to be dead because it'd be interesting. Because, like, how the fuck would Salem react to that? Like, shit, my fall maiden's dead.
Shit, my maiden's dead. Now I gotta go kill another bitch.
Looks like... Oh, I forgot. We also found out what her fucking wibbly arm was. It was a grim.
It's a fucking grim.
Yeah. That was a grim thing, and we saw her, like, fucked up eye, which, by the way, we still don't know why her eye is fucked up. We didn't see what RWBY did to her eye. Like, you can go back to Volume 3, she just does her silver eyes scream, and then everything freezes.
And
how does that fuck up her eye? We still don't know.
Did Crow take the eye?
No, because like it was implied. See, that's why it's so confusing. I don't get it because the silver eyes.
Because
so
crows will technically peck the shit out of decaying corpses and shit.
Like it. No. But the point I'm making is that like you have the silver eyes, which by the way, still not explained how that shit works.
Right.
What we saw in Volume 3 was like a fucking globe time stop, but somehow that relates. That allows that first of all. A globe time stop causes one, Cinder's eye to get fucked up, and throat to get fucked up. Remember, her throat was fucked up last volume. So those two things happen. And then also, Crow is able to come in there and collect Ruby, even though it's supposed to be like a globe time stop. So I don't understand anything about Silver Eyes. Nothing about it makes sense. They need to explain more.
Yeah, let's be realistic here. From Volume 3 to Volume 5, the Silver Eyes seems to have gotten a major nerf as well.
Unless, I think it was implied that like, he was starting to do it, and then, like, she passed out. I'm hoping. Otherwise, yeah, it would be very nerfed.
Because, I mean, the last time she used it, she stopped a dragging rim.
Yeah, I'm assuming that was more of...
exhaustion.
It's like, oh no, Jaunes... Well, I guess it's like it implies two things. Either one, because, one was she literally saw Pyrrha die. This one was she was scared of Jaunes dying. Number two, probably cares about Pyrrha more, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, Jaunes baby dying. I'll put, like, I don't know, 20% effort into it.
Minimum effort.
Oh, Jaunes. Ooh. Puke boy from the blimp. He puked a bunch. That's,
right?
That was his thing.
I must save the possible cleric / bard.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, he needs to carry around a fucking, like, harpsichord now.
Oh, Weiss, marry me.
Oh.
No. Don't turn into Mercury.
There was some good character moments, too. I loved Weiss being like, well, that's annoying.
Yeah. Remember, I mean, he technically does. Doesn't John actually play some sort of instrument?
Oh, yeah. No, I was saying, though, like, when he was healing her and, like, she was talking about how you take
and
that was a good character moment for her.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder, is Rooster Teeth, I hope that, I don't know how to feel about, like, I couldn't tell if, like, there was, like, weird tension between John and Weiss. I was like, you stay away from him, or you stay away from her, John. That's Ruby's.
that, don't even think about it.
Yeah. Stay away from this lesbian chemistry right now.
Maybe off screen. Never mind. Not going to go that dark with it.
Oh, I was gonna say we gotta at some point. So someone's got to send me some good Ruby, Weiss, Yuri. Okay.
I mean,
sure it exists.
It does exist, and it's in Hentai Dump.
Oh, good.
Maybe you should join that.
I'm pretty sure I'm in it. Yeah, no, with their personalities, man, like, sex would be interesting. Like, oh my gosh. Like, can you imagine that chemistry? Right? I don't know how that would work. Like, who's top, who's bottom in that? Like, who's the giver and who's the receiver in that relationship?
I think that Weiss would be the dominant one.
I could see both of them though somehow, because Ruby's like the optimistic, like, I'm gonna do it kind of girl, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you come 50 times.
I love how this devolved into Yuri speak.
Yes. And if you like things devolving, subscribe.
Yeah. Also, if you like Yuri, there's a new anime called Citrus out, and it's very good for the Yuri fandom. # not spawn.
Yes.
But anyway, predictions for the season finale?
Oh, you first.
Okay, maybe a nubbly,
Nubbly?
a Studio Nubbly fight between Raven and fucking Yang that ends up with them coming to terms on some sort of truce to get out of the school that's probably going to be collapsing because we're missing half of a fucking wall at this point.
What caused the collapse in there? Was that just their power, I suppose?
I think that was more Nora just bunning fucking Hazel the hell out of the school.
Huh.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Weiss like jabbing Hazel through with the scorpion too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So much shit happened in this episode. That's why it's the pacing is something they have to work on, and I'm glad that Carrie brought that up because like the fact that you can have an episode where like virtually nothing happens, and then an episode like this where so much shit happens, like forget some of it.
Yeah, we still haven't had the scene that caused Lindsay to almost vomit.
Yeah, I wonder if it. Wait a minute, what would that be?
I'm assuming it must be the season finale, or it got cut.
Or she's a really, really easy vomiter. I mean, what she said, I don't know, because what she said is that she overheated herself. So, like, I wonder if it's like the hype is like way too overblown, and it's like, oh no, it wasn't because of my lines. It was just really hot that day in Texas. But the problem is the tweet was implying that it was like a really good scene. Or, like,
Right. So if that got cut,
no, because Lindsay fucking talked about it happening. Oh, well, what could happen in the future? I wonder if some shit's gonna happen. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. So, you think it's gonna be some fucking shit where like Cinder comes back and like kills Raven from behind at the last second in front of Yang?
but how would that affect Ruby?
Fuck. I don't know.
Maybe Cinder comes back, impales both Raven and Crow. Just she gets some giant, overpowered fucking maiden weapon and just guts both of them.
That'd be quite intense.
That would cause vomiting.
They should just keep the. I think I made the same joke. Let's just keep the audio and have Ruby vomit from the horror.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty intense.
That'd be like, no!
Oh, that was a pretty realistic sounding vomit. I'm sure you know from all the alcohol you've.
Exactly. Pans over to the bar cart.
But yeah,
it's almost empty.
Legitimately trying to figure out where this could go. I mean, like, I guess the main question is, do we think that do we really think do we think Cinder's not dead? I guess.
Hell no.
Like, part of me wants her to be so bad.
I want her to be dead, shattered in a million fucking pieces on the ground of some fucking bottomless cavern. Just.
Huh.
Viewers can tell I don't like Cinder. That would be the perfect hype for the Jessica Negri documentary.
I want her to metamorphosize into Torchwick. Torchwick's the maiden. Don't question it. Question.
I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to let you live with the comment section.
Well, yeah, if we get a comment section, number one.
If we get
number
a comment
two,
section. I'm sure I'll have more triggered feminists than I will.
I'm kidding. I am unaware. I am aware of the rules with maidens and how it has to be a young woman. I am kidding. The joke there is that Torchwick is best villain.
Torchwick is a better villain than any of the fucking villains we've had since Monty's been gone.
No, dude, Torchwick's the best villain on the show. I don't care.
I just said that. He's been the best villain since... He's better than all the ones we've had since post-Monty. Like, good God.
I think it's easy to say in the show, because other than, like, with Monty still there, the only villains we really had were Torchwick, Cinder, Emerald.
But, I mean, where does Emerald and Mercury really lie?
They're random-ass cronies. Oh, so much burping. They're random-ass cronies, Cinder, which, by the way...
are they... At least Emerald seems to be a little bit reprehensive of what they're doing, but she's still loyal to Cinder. And Mercury just doesn't seem to give a fuck regardless.
I mean, Mercury killed his own dad. That's the definition of not giving a fuck.
That's the definition of fratricide?
I still love that in Volume 3 where it's like,
I want one of those of Salem. Like how she got her crew.
Oh, same though. Yeah, I hope we do. I just remember that scene from Volume 3 where it's like, yeah, we were here looking for your dad. You just killed your dad. I guess we'll take you instead.
Right?
That worked. we're looking for your dad. Oh, he's dead. Oh, cool. You want to come? It's so chill. I love it.
I'm just like, no fucks given.
I can't believe.
I'm like,
I don't know how to feel about it. Too. Like Mercury got like casually head smacked by Ruby. Too. Like he's like, haha, I've knocked away your size. Oh gosh.
Right?
Mercury, for real though.
I'm curious where the fucking Adam Taurus plotline is going to go to.
Oh yeah.
Because he's a fucking edgelord.
Oh my gosh, he was like,
he's clicking the button, and like, yeah, we had someone go check the explosives, and yeah, they're disarmed, and then Ilya just comes out, looking like a shadow, and then turning back into a regular form because she's a chameleon.
What about when he was like losing his fucking mind? Like,
yeah, and it's just like, Hazel's like, "This is your problem, not mine. Fix it."
Yeah, that was I like that line. Like,
that was just perfect. Like, fuck you, I'm gonna go kill those kids.
My forte is child murder. Thank you very much.
I like specifically children that work with and are Ozpin.
Yeah, and are. No, but like Hazel's such a fucking hypocritical prick though. Like, and if that's what they're going for, sure. But like, I love that, like, as he's, like, crushing Nora's head to the ground, he's like, how many children must die because of you? It's like, what? You're doing it.
You're the one doing this, you fucking moron.
You see this?
You see this kid? I'm gonna crush her skull.
You see this crushed 16-year-old girl's skull? Your fault, not mine.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Oh
Hazel was best boy the entire volume, and they ruined him.
How do you go from no one had to die today to holy shit, children to kill?
Right? Disclaimer, we do not advocate child murder.
Yeah, that's the point. That's kind of where we're coming from here. It's stupid.
I know, but I'm just covering bases.
Dave, you don't need David. Really?
David!
Child murder disclaimer. It's like the fucking vloggers that's now are gonna need new disclaimers because of Logan Paul probably.
Exactly. That was the joke I was going for. If you didn't realize it. But it's just so fucking. I don't know how they could have ruined a character more.
Unless we get a backstory that really shows why he'd be this angry. Yeah.
So really, episode 14 could be one of two things. It could be a backstory and all the villains, and then next time on RWBY, we finish this fight here.
Next, another thing I'd love to actually is if what would make this a bit better for me when it comes to Hazel, like if we get a scene with him actually like really, really distraught and angry at himself for how angry he got.
Yeah, that would be a redeeming moment.
If we get a scene where he's just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I let my rage take me over and do the very thing that caused me to... Like, that would be great if he actually had like a conflicting moment where he's like questioning himself.
And then just disembowels himself seppuku style with one of the dust shards.
Good God. Little
fun. But, I mean, the way he's based himself is on peace. So if they're going for like the peace aspect,
that's why it comes off on what we need to see is if this was a purposeful writing decision or not. Which is why I want to see him they can redeem it if it's shown that it was purposeful with him kind of being like mad at himself, stakekeeping.
Yeah.
That then if he has no remorse, that'll be the final right. If he has absolutely no remorse for what he just did when he's in a calmer state, then his character's ruined.
Exactly. Because he went from zen to fucking murder.
That will be the big thing. But yeah, I just comes to ending it, like we're just gonna have to. I suppose, kind of gotta end on like a cliffhanger. You'd think it. I don't know. Confusing. I have no idea.
I'm assuming the scene that made Lindsay vomit is going to be like the ending of like Ruby screaming at something. You know, because she said she was, you know, from heat and overexertion, from screaming. Like,
yeah,
there has to be a death here. Because that would be the only thing that kind of would make sense for her to have that reaction. But I just don't know.
But if there's a death, who are we thinking? Raven?
I don't think Raven will die. Because
also, by the way, if Cinder actually does die, someone's got to get the power. Who would her last thoughts?
We know it won't be Ruby because Ruby can't get the power because of how they've explained the Silver Eyes.
They say that.
Crow said something along the lines of like it's like an anti-fucking thing. So I just don't know. Who?
I feel like you'd think the last person in her thoughts would be Raven, but that can't happen. It's already the man.
But can it happen?
I don't know.
Because we saw Cinder trying to steal the fucking powers.
Right, but I feel like the only reason he's able to do that is through some like hacks shit that like Salem gave her. I'm assuming.
But Cinder also retorted with like, "You became a monster, and then look at you, you have too," kind of shit. So, what is she referring to? Like the ability to turn for Raven to turn into a bird?
Probably. Yeah.
Or is she also referring to some sort of hacks ability that we haven't seen from Raven as well?
I think that this whole stealing, because like, remember when she was first like stealing powers from Maiden, like Crow and Ironwood and Ozpin were reacting to that like, the fuck, you know what I mean? Like that shouldn't be a thing. That wasn't a thing that they knew about. So and the first time we saw her do it, it was that glove that had Salem's symbol on it. You know, it was like some kind of Grim symbol or Salem symbol, and now it's kind of like embedded into her with the Grim. So, like, I think that's something that Salem gives her. Like, the ability that Salem gives. I don't think that, like, anyone can just do that. I think that's a Salem thing.
Yeah. So, I guess the monster retort was, you know, the magic that was given to her by Ozpin, possibly. But it just kind of makes you think.
Remember, because, it reminded me, too, like, in the Volume 3, fight with like the 13-second fight with Cinder and Ozpin, where she's like she says she told me about you, so such arrogance or something like that, implying that Salem obviously has shit with Ozpin and thinks he's an arrogant motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean he does come off a little bit arrogant.
No, certainly.
But I mean, arrogance isn't always a bad thing either. It's if you can back up that arrogance.
True. Well, I guess that's pretty much it on my end. I'm excited to see what they do for the finale here, and if
bring back World of Remnant so we can fucking understand some of this goddamn lore you're trying to build.
Right.
It would make your jobs a lot easier, and actually, you know, if you did it on the fucking off season, you know, we'd still have Ruby, technically.
That'd be cool. Well, I mean, you got your chibi that you love so much.
I mean, it's bound to happen regardless. But it'd just be easier if they did the World of Remnant. You know,
yeah, hopefully.
because that made it a lot easier for them building at least the beginnings of the world and shit, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right, well...
I mean,
yeah.
What, like 5 episodes I was making fun of the World of Remnant, now that they're trying to build all this shit, I'm like, bring it back!
Were you making fun of it? I thought you were...
I was like, next episode is the World of Remnant, so we won't really have anything. Damn it.
Lol, JK. They probably, I'm gonna guess that the World of Remnant, like, go back and check the views on them, I'm gonna guess they got, like, shit views.
I I know they got less views, but they also helped explain shit. They were a necessary.
Oh no, I like them. I'm just saying, like, what would the the reasoning for stopping? Probably less views.
Or there was an executive decision from Full Screen.
Potentially.
But anyway, we got One Piece talks to film, so until next time, signing off. Peace.
Woot.